Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing my first nail art tutorial, and I just started watching Adventure Time maybe about a few weeks ago now, but my husband and I actually got through all 3 seasons already because we love it so much. But I decided that I wanted to do some nail art based on that, so I'm actually going to be doing all of the characters in this picture, and BMO is actually down here in this corner, but you can't see him. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do one of these on each nail, or you could just do one, on all of your nails. I'm going to be doing them separately, so this is the first of those, and I figured why not start off with the main character, Finn the human. So I will be right back and show you what you're going to need for materials. Okay, so these are some of the materials that you're going to need. I actually always use a base coat on my nails, and this is called Gripper, and it's by Nail Life. I bought it from Sally Beauty Supply, and it just helps the nail polish adhere to your nail better so it doesn't chip off as easily. My top coat is Sally Hansen Insta Dry, and it works really good. It dries really fast, and it stops it from chipping. The base color I'm going to be using is by Sinful Colors, and it's called Snow Me White, and it's number 101. I just got this at Walgreens, I believe, for like $1 or $2. You're also going to need some acrylic paints. I have this white just in case I mess up on Finn's hood anywhere, because I can thin out the line or something if I need to with this. Also, you will be needing black for the outlines. And these are just regular acrylic Craft Smart paints. I don't use like fancy, nail specific acrylics. They're just too expensive, and I just, it comes out fine with these. This is called Vanilla. It's just another Craft Smart paint, and this is going to be what the oval of his face is made of. And if I go up a little bit too far with the hood, I'm going to put a blue line at the bottom for his shirt. So I have Robin's Egg Blue in case I need to do that. And you're going to need some tools. If you don't have dotting tools, you can use a toothpick or something like that. You can even use a paintbrush if you want, since you're working with acrylics. But I actually find that using dotting tools works really good, and I have one specific paintbrush that I got from Sally Beauty as well. And it's just a really small detail brush, and it actually comes with a dotting tool on the other side. This only cost me like maybe $2 or $3, so if you really like to do your nails, this is a really great tool for that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paint my nail white with the base coat and all that underneath, and then I'll be back after it dries to show you guys what to do from there, because I'm sure that you don't want to watch me paint my nail. I'm sure you know how to do that. Okay, now that that finally dried up, I'm actually going to start out with the vanilla color, because that'll give me an idea of where the ears and the top of the hood should be. So what you want to do is take your fingernail, and I'm using my fattest dotting tool, and I'm just going to dip that into some of the paint. Let's see if I can do this without blocking the camera too badly. It sucks being right-handed for this right now. Okay, so just take and just dip it like across slightly. Definitely make sure your nail is completely dry for this, especially if you're using a dotting tool, because if not, you will have a huge mess on your nail. I've gotten impatient before and done it before it was dry, so that was a big mistake. And just go around and kind of circle. You want it to be an oval shape. Kind of like that. Let me see if I can angle it a little bit so I can see better. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to doing things like this, so it takes me a bit. Okay. Alright, so basically you just want to shape on your nail like that, like a nice oval in the center. And then you're going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and do the outline later. Okay, next you're going to want to take a thin dotting tool, or maybe like a toothpick, something like that, and your black paint. And you're going to want to try to dip it in pretty lightly because you don't want the line to come out too thick. So I'm going to dip mine in as light as I possibly can. And also try to not block the camera view. And you're going to go around the outside of the face shape. Try to do it as smoothly as possible, but it's almost, to me it's almost impossible to get it 100% smooth, so if it doesn't come out 100% smooth, don't worry about it. Just keep trying to dip in your tool very lightly. Sorry about that, I was blocking the camera again. It's just kind of hard to work like this. I'm sure I'll find a better camera setup eventually, but for right now, this is how it is, I guess. Alright, so you got the outside done. And then what I do is I always go and do the top of the hood next. So what you're going to want to do is probably try to... This I actually did a little bit closer to the top than I usually do. But what I'm going to do is go about this far above here. Kind of make a line between to show where the top of the hood is. And you could use a different background color so that way the hood is more distinguished from the background. But I just find it's easier because then the whole thing is white already, so you just start off with that color. And then you're going to make the two little bumps for where his ears are. Don't worry that it kind of like goes to the side like that. It's just kind of how it is. Especially on my fingernails, the top of my fingernail is slimmer than the bottom, so just as long as you get the indication of the fact that there's two little ears there so people know it's Finn. It's got a very unique design that I've never seen on any other character, so okay. Then, since the middle part here is dry, you can go in and add your eyes and the little mouth. So, I'm gonna put, let me look at my reference picture real quick. The eyes are fairly small, they're just like two little dots. And you don't want to put them too close together. You can make them a little bigger if you want. I'm just going to dabble in a little bit more. And then with as little paint as you can do, because his mouth is pretty thin and you don't want it to be a thick blob, I put on a very, very tiny amount of paint onto the end. And it's better to have less and have to go over it again than it is to have a huge blob of a mouth. So... and then there's his tiny little smile. And since I did put this up fairly far on my nail, I am going to go ahead and dip this back in. And my neighbor's dog is barking, great. Sorry about that. About the same amount that you put above the hood, you want to put below. And make it as straight across as you can. Like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my Robin's Egg Blue. So here's my Robin's Egg Blue. And I'm going to take probably the second largest dotting tool that I have, and I'll use that to go under this black line here. And just add the light blue of his shirt. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that I have to do now is to add a top coat. If you want to adjust any of the lines, just go ahead and do that before you add a top coat onto it. And that is it for Finn. The next one I will do will probably be BMO. It'll probably go Finn, BMO, Jake, Princess Bubblegum, and then Rainicorn will be on my thumb because she's going to take up the most space. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will do my best to get the rest out as soon as I can because I'm actually going on a trip not too long from now. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.